Bismillah.
Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Madani and salam MPG Peneraja Pendidikan Guru Ketaraf Dunia. Good morning and a warm welcome to Language Lab 2. Before we begin, here is a quick reminder about the time management signals for today's presentations and Q&A sessions. During each presentation, a bell will ring once.
What's the bell?
At the 15-minute mark as a reminder, and then twice at 20 minutes to signal the end of the allotted time. For the Q&A session, a bell will ring once to signal the start, and the 5-minute mark, the bell will ring twice to indicate that the session is concluding. Thank you, and we hope this helps keep our session running smoothly. Without wasting any time, we are honored to have our Evaluator 1, Dr. Hajah Faizah binti Jaafar, and Evaluator 2, Madam Hajah Suhana binti Ahmad with us today. To start our session, our first presenter, Muhammad Daniel bin Saiful Akmal, will share his research on teacher trainees' perception of gamification in ESL classroom for vocabulary development. And now let's give Muhammad Daniel a warm welcome to the floor.
Thank you to the MC. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, I bid to the panels and to the audience. Okay, I am Muhammad Daniel bin Saiful Akmal, and today I will be presenting my research on the topic of teacher trainees' perceptions of gamification in ESL classrooms for vocabulary development. Okay, so let's begin by looking at my background of study. Gamification refers to using elements such as points, rewards, and leaderboards in non-game settings in order to increase motivation and engagement. Okay, gamification is widely used in education settings in order to maintain motivation during learning. Okay. Okay. So, gamification in education enhanced engagement and vocabulary acquisition according to WEN to 2023. So, research supports improved language proficiency through interactive gamified tools such as quizzes, Duolingo, and Kahoot. Okay. So the problem addressed in my research is that the challenge that Malaysian ESL learners face in acquiring sufficient vocabulary. Okay, so among the challenges are due to indirect teaching and limited English exposure, as highlighted by Hanif et al. 2021 and Megan Nathan et al. 2019. On top of that, traditional learning methods often fail to engage students in the classroom during learning vocabulary, according to Child 2021. Okay, so the following are my research objectives. So for my RO1, the objective is to explore the perceptions of PISMP June 21-25 teacher trainees on the use of gamification in ESL classroom. For RO2 is to identify the key factors that influence the effectiveness of gamification in enhancing vocabulary skills among PISMP June 21-25 teacher trainees. And the last objective is to assess the differences in perceptions between male and female ESL teacher trainees regarding the implementation of gamification in ESL classrooms for vocabulary development. Okay, so my research questions are based on my research objectives, so I won't be explaining further on this. So the significance of research. This research is valuable for multiple reasons. Academically, it contributes to the existing literature on gamification in language learning by offering specific insights into vocabulary teaching. While gamification has been explored in many educational settings, its application for vocabulary acquisition in ESL classrooms in Malaysia remains underexplored. Okay, so practically, my study provides useful guidance for teacher training programs. If TESOL trainees view gamification positively, it could support the incorporation of game-based learning in ESL programs. Okay. Okay, so for my related past research that I use in my research is the research by Mirzoyeva and Kabragalinova, which gamified vocabulary lessons showed better word retention than those in traditional learning settings. Gamification can enhance vocabulary learning in certain contexts, according to Wanme and Paluyo, and gamification elements increase students' engagement and motivation, which is a study by Ekichi 2021. Gamification effectively elevates students' vocabulary levels from basic to intermediate. Okay, so for my research, I use quantitative, which I use questionnaire that assess on the perceptions and the key factors that influence the gamification effectiveness. So population, I targeted the 21-25 batch, which consists of 58 teacher trainees. And for sampling, I included 47, which I exclude 10 from pilot study and myself. So research instrument. Section A for respondent profile. Section B consists of 10 items on teacher trainees' perceptions. And section C consists of 10 items on key factors that influence effectiveness of gamification in enhancing vocabulary skills. Okay, so this is the research procedure. I adapted and created a questionnaire based on past research by September 2019. And the questionnaire was checked and approved by supervisor, and it involved 10 respondents for pilot study purpose. So for my pilot study, I received Chromebox alpha value of 0.844, which is considered as acceptable and reliable. So this is a data collection procedure. So supervisor's approval of pilot study before I proceed to distribute the questionnaire to the respondents. And it took about a week to gather all the response. So for data analysis, I used descriptive and inferential analysis to analyze my data. Okay, so now we will move on to findings of RQ1. So my RQ1 is what are the perceptions of PISMP June 21-25 teacher trainees regarding the use of gamification. Okay, so we will begin with the items with the highest mean values. Ranking number 1, which is item B6, gamification makes learning vocabulary in a classroom more engaging, which achieved the mean score of 4.77, which is the highest in the construct. Okay. Second is B5, item B5, and also B10. Both of these items achieve the score of 4.72, which is also considered very high, according to Zaki and Ahmad. So which score ranging from 4.3 until 5 is considered very high. Okay. Now, I would like to also highlight the item with the lowest mean values, which I will elaborate more in the discussions. Okay. Oh wait. So the total mean score for this construct is 4.4, which means that gamification is perceived positively by the TESOL teacher trainees. Okay, so for discussion. So the item B6, gamification makes learning vocabulary more engaging, is aligned with TAM under the construct of perceived usefulness. So perceived usefulness is when an individual believes that the technology is beneficial for them in enhancing performance, so they are more likely to adopt the technology. In this context, it's gamification. Okay, so the items is supported by Granish and Marangunich, 2019, which highlights the effectiveness of TAM in educational settings, showed that perceived usefulness is the key to technology acceptance, including gamified learning tools. This supports gamification's role in enhancing engagement by making learning tools valuable and beneficial for the users. Okay. Next is item B5. Oh. Next is item B5, which also aligns with TAM. TAM is technology acceptance model, and still perceived usefulness. Is supported by Mirzoyeva and Galinova, 2021, which they highlighted that the use of online gamification platforms has been shown to be beneficial to both teachers and students. Okay, so an experiment involved the quizzes. The form revealed that students who participated in gamified vocabulary lessons demonstrated better word retention compared to those who received traditional learning methods. So, as you can see, the item said that I believe that using gamification can improve my students' vocabulary retention, which aligns with the study done by Mirzoyeva and Galinova, 2031. And last is item B3, which is the lowest mean value, which has the lowest mean value. But I would like to say that this, while it scores the low value, which is 1.72, but it technically reflects disagreement with the statement saying that the technical aspects of gamification are difficult to implement, which implies that teacher trainees strongly believe that the technical aspects are not a barrier, but rather see it as a technology that are easy to use and to implement in their lessons. So it aligns with TAM, Technology Acceptance Model, which is perceived ease of use. Okay, and is supported by Kashive, 2022. According to a study by Kashive, users reported higher satisfaction and a greater intention to utilize these platforms when they found them enjoyable and easy to use. So it aligns with perceived ease of use, where perceived ease of use reflects how intuitive and how user-friendly the tool is, which directly influence the user to adopt the technology. Okay. Now we are moving on to RQ2, which what are the key factors that influence the effectiveness of gamification in enhancing vocabulary skills among PISMP June 21-25 teacher trainees. Okay, so for this RQ2, there are two constructs which are perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. So in the questionnaire, each item consists of 5 items for PU and PEOU. So we'll go with perceived usefulness first. The highest item with the highest rated item is C4, ranking number 1, which scored 4.68 mean value. And item C2 is the second highest, which is 4.66 mean value. So, as I explained earlier, score between 4.30 to 5.00 is considered very high. Okay, so these two items scored a very high mean value, according to Zaki and Ahmad. Then the total mean score for perceived usefulness is 4.60, which is very high. Okay, so that means teacher trainees believe that the perceived usefulness is one of the factors that influence the effectiveness of gamification. So moving on to perceived ease of use. So the highest item would be item C10, which is 4.66, and the second one is 4.62 for item C5. So the total mean score for perceived ease of use is 4.62. So when we look at both of these total mean score, we can see that there is a slight difference, right? So that means that the mean scores for these constructs are very close, with PU scoring 4.6 and PEOU scoring 4.62. This similarity suggests that both factors are valued positively and nearly equally by the trainees, though the slightly higher score for PEOU implies that ease of use may be especially important in determining gamification's effectiveness. Okay, so they would prefer for the technology, for gamification to be easy to use, rather than finding it beneficial for their lesson. Okay, next. For discussions. Okay. So I would discuss on two items, one for each construct. So for perceived usefulness, item C4, which is the highest, gamification provides immediate feedback that helps students correct their mistakes more efficiently. So this item aligns with technology acceptance model, perceived usefulness, which is supported by Ekichi 2021. As he highlighted that leaderboards in gamified learning environments boost student motivation by providing immediate feedback and highlighting performance rankings. This feedback mechanism encourages students to monitor their progress, recognize mistakes, and work towards improving their performance in the classroom. Okay, and then for perceived ease of use, I will discuss on item C5, which is the ease of monitoring students' progress through gamification tools such as leaderboard enhance the effectiveness of vocabulary teaching, which scored 4.62 mean value. Okay, also aligns with TAM and under the perceived ease of use, supported by Louis Stein et al. 2017, where in Louis Stein's study, he highlighted how the use of points and badges and leaderboards enhances ease of use by allowing users to easily monitor their progress. These elements increase user engagement and participation among the students. So it supports this item where teacher trainees strongly believe that the ease of monitoring students' progress is helps them to teach vocabulary in the classroom more effectively. Okay, for RQ3 is to find out if there is any significant difference between male and female TESOL trainee teachers' perceptions towards the implementation of gamification in the classroom. So, this is the descriptive table for female and male teacher trainees, where female 36 female and 11 male teacher trainees. So we can see that the difference in mean value here, where female teacher trainees scored slightly higher than the male teacher trainees. So how do we determine if the difference is significant or not? Okay, so to determine the significance difference, we have to find out the p-value for both male and female. So in order to do that, I conducted an independent samples t-test using Jamovi, and I found out that the p-value is 0.138. So according to the significance level, p-value that is greater than 0.05 is considered as not significant. Therefore, this value, 0.138, it is greater than 0.05, which indicates that there is no significant difference between the two variables, between male and female TESOL trainees. So, the null hypothesis for my research is accepted. So, for conclusions, for RQ1, we can see that based on the findings, for RQ1, we can see that TESOL teacher trainees have a very high perception level towards gamification in classroom. For RQ2, PU and PEOU are the key factors that influence gamification's effectiveness. As we can see, they both score like equally, almost equally. And then for RQ3, that there is no significant difference between male and female trainees' perceptions towards gamification in the classroom. The recommendations. So first recommendation is broader demographics, which is to include a more diverse sample beyond teacher trainees. Maybe in service teachers, maybe lecturers, maybe university students. Okay, so for second recommendations is comparative analysis, which is to compare different gamified tools and techniques to determine which methods are most effective for vocabulary acquisition. Maybe compare quizzes and Kahoot. Okay. So the implications for classroom practices, gamification increase motivation and vocabulary retention. And for the implications for teacher training program is that gamification enable trainees to practice. The research enable trainees to practice with gamification to boost comfort with tech-based teaching. And lastly, implications on education policy. Gamification appeals across demographics, supporting diverse teaching needs. Okay, that's all for my presentation.
Okay, Daniel. Okay, look at the population and sample, please. Okay, population and sample. Your population is PISMP June 21, 25, right? So it means that you and your friends.
Yes.
Your friends, right? Why? Why do you choose them to be your sample?
I chose them to be my sample because they had the experience of going for practicum. So maybe, not maybe, sorry. So I would like for them to reflect on their experience with the implementation of gamification, because we may have used gamification approach such as quizzes during the lessons. So from this research, I would like to see how they perceive the gamification in classroom.
What is it like
you extend the research, your sample to other teacher trainees from other IPG, same batch, who has the same experience of going out for practicum? Why don't you extend that?
Because that would, what do you say? That would add more into the limitation of my research, which is because it's time constraint. We don't have much time, so assuming that they won't like cooperate, like giving the response in the given time, it's hard for me to like go through all of them and ask them to like fill in the survey. So
But now we have that technology, right? You can just send your questionnaire through WhatsApp, Google Form, right?
Yeah.
And I am sure that that's the way you
yeah.
collect your data with your friends here, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's no different if you send it to your friends in other IPG, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really hope that one day or next time, please extend to get the data from other students or teacher trainees from other places, right? Dapat ni tak ada lah kan? Tapi I mean maybe for your masters.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. Now another question is,
Sure.
okay. RQ1 findings, please. Okay. I just wonder, who is Ahmad and Zaki?
Ahmad and Zaki.
Yeah, who is Ahmad and Zaki?
I cited it from.
Then because the name is not familiar at all, to give the score 4.3 to 5 is very high. Usually for this kind of research, you will cite for somebody like Morgan, like the founder for that, and not Ahmad and Zaki. I think it's just Ahmad and Zaki just cite, right, from somebody, papers, and then usually for this kind of research, you can cite yang, original. Try to get, because I think in the library, we have lots and lots of books on research, quantitative research, right? So next time, okay, ni degree je kan. Kalau nak buat master nanti jangan cite Ahmad and Zaki, you kena grill. Yeah, kena bakar. Yeah. Okay, so that's the things that you need to remember, because Ahmad and Zaki are not somebody who yang you perlu cite for this kind of things. Okay, Madam Sue.
Okay. First of all, congratulations, Daniel, that you have reached this stage. Okay. Thank you for the effort. I have a few things to ask. Okay, let's look at RQ1. Okay, RQ1. This is what I believe. Okay, when I look at your research objective in the beginning, as I look at research objective, right? This is research. Can we look at that slide, please? Research objective 1. Okay, this one. That research objective after problem statement. Okay, that one. Okay, when I look at the first RO1, I thought it's going to be qualitative because you use the word explore. Right. I think that is not how we do it. If you are focusing on quantitative, it should be examine, identify, assess. Yeah, those are correct. The second and the third one. Okay, now let's look at RO2. To identify, is that T? Okay, is that T? To identify the key factors that influence the effectiveness. So here, to identify the key factors, how many key factors are actually there?
Based on the research or
the one that you are focusing, because towards the end, I realize you have the perceived usefulness and then perceived of perceived ease of use. So you have two factors here. But here you want to identify the key factors. But you know already the key factors are two. I'm a bit confused there.
Okay, so what I intended was maybe the wording, I think. But what I really intended to is to find out which factors influence the effectiveness the most.
Look at RQ2, Izati. Next slide. Next slide. Just one next slide. Okay. Now, the question here is, what are key factors? Alright. So, if you want to know which one is the most significant or which one is has the higher level, you should rephrase the question to which factor has a high. So I'm giving you some ideas how to rectify certain things in your thesis, right? I'm
And-
giving you comments actually.
Yeah, I think the word effectiveness there also, you need to think about that.
Do they have any suggestion?
Because I have to look at your thesis.
You
Then
you
we-
are not measuring the
Yeah.
effectiveness, right?
Yeah.
Because the topic is teacher trainees perception. You are actually measuring the perception, not the effectiveness.
Yeah.
If you are measuring the effectiveness, it's going to be experimental or quasi-experimental.
And you have the
Different design.
intervention for that.
Yeah. Be careful with the way you ask the question, because your research question guide you throughout the thesis. That's my understanding. Okay. Next.
The research question will give you, it's like a map for you to go, where to go. You know, it lead you to which way, the research question. Okay, so usually the word effectiveness, we don't really use it in the quantitative or qualitative. Usually, if you want to measure the effectiveness, it is experimental. Yeah. And effectiveness of something. Effectiveness of gamification means that you are measuring the game itself, gamification, right?
You
See
measure
how-
the student score before you introduce the game, and then after you introduce the game in the lesson, you
Yeah.
conduct the test again or the quiz again, see if there is any increment in the score.
Yeah, then we'll show you the effectiveness of that gamification.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm not happy again with I'm sorry, let me ask the question. Yeah, okay, I'm not happy again with the population and sample. You mentioned here you have 60. Oh, different. It is different.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
68 here.
I corrected.
Okay, I know for your cohort there are 58 students. Now you mentioned that you minus 10, you and your friend, right? Yes, you minus 10 for your pilot study, correct, Daniel? So it becomes 48, but you minus yourself, it becomes 47. So I don't think that is proper sampling technique. I think it is wrong, because
You need to refer.
you need to refer to specific.
Who said that you need you can take 10?
You can take 10.
Who
and
said that?
Do you have proper citation?
Yeah.
I do in my thesis. I didn't include.
Okay, who said that you can take 10?
Okay. But it's in the thesis.
Yeah. Okay. Usually, when you present, you need to mention that. You need to mention that so that you takkan ditanya.
Okay, one more thing, Daniel, is that if I'm not mistaken, I remember this very well from Cratchit and Morgan. Cratchit and Morgan says if you have 58 teacher trainees, you should have 52 sample. You should not have less than that. So if you have 47 like this, you cannot generalize your findings. You cannot generalize your findings. Yeah, that's my comment. I'll be talking to Miss Ati again.
So usually for your sample, for your pilot study, you need to do the pilot study for the teacher trainees from other IPG.
Don't take our own
Yes, don't take
students.
our own students. So you're not doing research. It's not, you cannot just simply do whatever that you want to do. You need to cope. You need to read. Okay, who said this? Why do you do this? Why and who, and full of citation and full of supports. You need to get support. Kalau you kata, Madam Sohana said that, no. Who is Madam Sohana?
I
No.
am nobody.
Yeah, even though even you said Dr. Faiza, even I ada PhD DR pun, you cannot cite me. My name. Okay? So doing research is something that is you need to read a lot. Okay, read a lot. Who said that you can take this, how many, semua tu kena ada guidelines. Okay? Okay.
Okay, so those are only my question. But overall, I really like that you choose this topic. I love gamification. I love to use games in my lesson. And as you conclude, you write about implication and it can increase motivation and vocabulary retention. And then you talk about the educational policy. I believe you can extend this research to another level. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay. Okay, Akmal.
Daniel.
Daniel, okay, good luck. Akmal tayang. Daniel, good luck. Okay. Hopefully, we really hope that you will stand this. Okay. But you need to focus lah. Focus. Maknanya jangan not too big. And then be careful with your sample. Sampling, eh?
Thank you for your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you to our panelists for their questions and feedback, and to the presenter for their thoughtful responses. Our next presenter is Muhammad Harith bin Muhammad Noor, who will be discussing his research on student perception of ChatGPT usage in TSLB 3123 among PISMP 2021-2025. Please join me in welcoming Muhammad Harith.
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our esteemed panelists, Madam Sohana and also Dr. Faiza, and to my audience here. Today, I would like to present to you my research defense, students' perceptions of ChatGPT usage in TESOL B3123 among PISMP 2021-2025. My name is Muhammad Harith bin Muhammad Noor, and I'm from Unit TESOL 1, and my honorable supervisor is Madam Siti Nur Hasina binti Mahlatib. So now, my background of the study consisted of 3 elements: artificial intelligence, TESOL B3123 literature in English, and also ChatGPT. So, according to Coxell and Bosquet 2019, the use of artificial intelligence in education has become a topic of interest. So, it is one of the innovations that leads to changes in schooling and also other educational practices as a whole. Well, for TESOL B3123, according to KBM, literature in English is a course meant for PISMP teacher trainees that is meant to provide them with a profound understanding of literary works and enhance their skill of critical thinking. So this is taken from the RMK in the for the course. And then for ChatGPT, according to Wong et al. 2023, ChatGPT is a model that utilizes advanced language processing algorithms that corresponds to a context that's given by the users. So this is my background. Next. As for the problem statement, I have identified 2 gaps between the integration of ChatGPT and literature course TESOL B3123. So one of the gaps is limited research by Abdullah and Shamsuddin 2022. So Abdullah and Shamsuddin says that currently literature on AI application within TESOL remains limited, especially in Malaysia, where students on AI assisted learning are often broad and rarely focus on literature courses. As for the second gap, is lack of empirical evidence on engagement and motivation of ChatGPT usage. So, according to Zhao et al. 2021, while AI tools are becoming more popular these days, there is limited empirical data on engagement and also motivation levels on student in literature-based courses. So this study addresses this gap by assessing ChatGPT's role in TESOL B3123. Next. So my purpose of the study is to evaluate teacher trainees' perceptions, motivations, and satisfaction with ChatGPT in TESOL B3123. So my research objective is consisted of 3 ROs. My first RO is to identify the teacher trainees' perception level on using ChatGPT in TESOL B3123, Literature in Education. As for my RO2, to examine the teacher trainees' motivational factor towards using ChatGPT in TESOL B3123. And for my RO3, to determine the differences in satisfactory levels among PISMP TESOL 2021-2025, TESOL B3123 students using ChatGPT. Next. So these are my RQs that are related towards my ROs. So my first RO, what are the teacher trainees' perception levels? For my RQ2, what motivational factors influence teacher trainee to use ChatGPT in the literature course? And for my RQ3, what are the differences in satisfactory levels among PISMP TESOL 2021-2025, TESOL B3123 students using ChatGPT, specifically between classes? Next. As for my RQ3, I have an alternative hypothesis, which is there is a significant difference in the satisfactory levels of PISMP TESOL 2021-2025 TESOL B3123 students using ChatGPT. Next. So, as for the research significance, my research is significant for educators and policymakers. It gives an insight for them on AI's role in literature education. As for AI developers, this research is significant to inform them on how to enhance AI tools for TESOL students. And as for future researchers, it provides them with empirical data on the application of ChatGPT in the literature education. Next. So this is my related past research. As you can see right here, most of this research focus on the perception of ChatGPT in education rather than focusing on literature. So I fill this gap by focusing my research in literature in education and also to get the data on the motivation and also satisfaction levels. Next. As for my research design, I use quantitative approach, which is survey, which has the 5-point Likert scale to gather data on motivation, perceptions, motivation, and also satisfaction levels. So I also use purposive sampling on TESOL PISMP August 2021-2025. As for the population example, my population is 58 TESOL PISMP teacher trainees at IPJ KDRI, which is my batch. And for the sampling method, I use purposive sampling with a sample size of 52 based on Crashey and Morgan table for accurate representation. Next. As for my instruments are adapted from past research studies on ChatGPT usage and student perception, including instruments from Ngo et al. 2023, La et al. 2023, and Sutherland et al. 2024. So my questionnaire is consisted of 3 sections. The section A is the question for the trainee teacher's perception level, which has 4 items. Section B, teacher trainee's motivational factor, 8 items, and section C, unit satisfactory level using ChatGPT in the survey 3123, which has 10 items. As for my data collection procedure, first, I design an adapting questionnaire, and then I get the approval from JBI. As you can see, the expert validation instrument form right here. After getting the approval from JBI, I had done my pilot study in IPG Batu Lintang via Google Form, which I take 30 TESOL students from there and run a reliability test, which has a Prompt Alpha of 0.958. So the acceptable Prompt Alpha of reliability test is 0.7 until 1.0. So my pilot study is considered very reliable. And last one, I distribute Google Form towards my respondents in IPG country. Next, as for the data analysis procedure, I use descriptive analysis and inferential analysis. For descriptive analysis, I focus on RO1 and RO2, which use mean interpretation using JAMOVI 2.6.2. While for inferential analysis, I focus on RO3, which use one-way ANOVA with the JAMOVI version 2.6.2. Next. So now we move on to the data findings and discussion. To answer the RQ1, what are the teacher training perception levels regarding the use of ChatGPT in the TESOL B3123 course? So, from the findings, I identified several key factors, key data from the study. So the first one is the overall mean score to identify the perception level of the students, of the training teachers. So the overall mean score is mean with 4.46 with a standard deviation of 0.57. So this indicates a very high perception levels of the teacher trainees to use ChatGPT in literature course. So one of the key points in the questionnaire is item A1, which has the mean of 4.54 and standard deviation of 0.61. So in this case, the high mean for A1 indicates that teacher trainees find ChatGPT easy to use to analyze literary text in TESOL B3123. So this aligns with term 3, perceived ease of use, which shows that when technology is perceived as user-friendly, it removes a barrier for adoption towards the technology. It also supported by Singh et al. 2023, which emphasized that ease of use is a crucial factor in adopting educational technology. As for item A4, it has the mean of 4.63 and the standard deviation of 0.53. It is a high level. So, the high level of item A4 shows that training teachers view ChatGPT as a valuable tool for studying literature. This supports term 3 perceived usefulness. Idea that when students perceive a tool is helpful for their learning tasks, they are more likely to incorporate it into their academic routines. This is also supported by Su 2023, who identified perceived usefulness is a key factor of a technology being adopted by students. Next. To answer RQ2, what motivational factors influence teacher trainees to use ChatGPT in the TESOL B3123 course? So, as for this, I do not put the overall mean score because I want to get the motivational factors. So, the key items in this questionnaire is the item B1, which has the mean of 4.58 and standard deviation of 0.57. So, this item is a high level for students. This item is a high motivational factor when students find using ChatGPT enjoyable for exploring TESOL B3123 text. So the high level of this motivational factor is supported by Su, who highlighted that enjoyment is a crucial factor in students' continued use of educational tools. So the positive response to item 1 indicates that when students find learning tool enjoyable, they are more likely to engage more deeply with the educational tool, which is in this case ChatGPT. As for item B3, which has the mean of 4.63 and standard deviation of 0.53, the high level of the item B3 suggests that trainee teachers not only find ChatGPT is useful, but also fun. This support the idea of perceived enjoyment in term 3, which can strengthen student intention to continue using the technology. As for the item B3, it has the mean of 4.63 and standard deviation of 0.53. This high level of mean score in item B5 reflect the teacher trainee's strong intention to continue using ChatGPT in the future of academic inquiries. So this is related to term 3 perceived enjoyment. So according to term 3, when students perceive a technology as beneficial and also easy to use, their behavioral intention to use the technology in the future strengthen, which is clearly demonstrated here. Okay. And then for the item B5, the mean for the item B5 is 4.62 with standard deviation of 0.53. So students agree that in the future they intend to use ChatGPT to address their academic inquiries with the mean of 4.62, which has the level high. So it aligns with behavioral intention to use. So the high mean score reflect that the teacher trainees wants to continue use the ChatGPT in the future for their academic inquiries. So this is supported by Valova et al., who emphasize that when students find educational tools both engaging and also beneficial, they develop a strong feeling towards a continued usage of the tools, which is in this case, ChatGPT. Next. Okay. This is the data findings for my RQ3. So what are the differences in satisfactory levels among PISMP TESOL 2021-2025 TESOL B3 1 to 3 students using ChatGPT? So before I run the inferential test on RQ3, I had done the test of normality towards each section of the questionnaire. As you can see right here, all the skewness and hypothesis for all the section falls under the normality range, which is -1 to +1. And then this is the descriptive statistic in unit differences. As you can see, the unit 3 has a slightly higher mean compared to other units, but it is not significant enough. And then I run the one-way ANOVA, which has the P of 0.377. Next. So the skewness and hypothesis level indicated acceptable normality, and the one-way ANOVA showed no significant differences because the P is 0.377, which is higher than 0.05. And these findings are also related to Su 2023, who highlighted that when students recognize the tool's educational value, demographic differences have become less influential on their satisfaction levels. Next. So, now to my conclusion. My RQ1 indicates that students have a high perception levels and they find ChatGPT is useful, user-friendly, and also an efficient tool for academic tasks. From my RQ2, from the motivational factors, they indicate a high motivational levels among them, and they find ChatGPT enjoyable, and also they use ChatGPT for academic purposes. And for my RQ3, there is no significant differences observed in satisfaction levels between units because the P is higher than 0.05. Then my alternative hypothesis is rejected. Next. For the recommendation, as for policy, I recommend to incorporate AI literacy in TESOL curricula according to TUAMI 2021. As for engagement, encourage critical analysis of AI responses, and for a responsible use, to set guidelines to balance AI use with critical thinking, and periodic assessment to monitor AI role in achieving educational objectives. Next. As for the implication, My implication is divided into 3 for education, policy implication, and also research opportunities. As for education, AI can support student-centered learning in literature, according to Venkatesh and Bala 2008. As for policy implication, it suggests a need for AI literacy in TESOL. And for research opportunities, open avenues to study AI impact on diverse student population. Next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Haris. First of all, well done that you have reached this stage where you completed your data analysis and all, right? This is a good topic, very relevant and up to date. Okay, I have one question regarding the sampling again. Okay, you mentioned
Yes.
that you use purposive sampling.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, what is purposive sampling? Second, why do you choose purposive sampling for this study?
Thank you for the question. So, purposive sampling is a sampling method that use characteristic method to choose our respondents. For example, in my research, I choose purposive sampling because my respondents are the last batch that use RMK in the literature courses, and it fit the certain characteristic or criteria for my study. So that is why I use purposive sampling. It is a non-random sampling method. Yes. So if I can answer,
You are not sure about your
I'm
answer.
sure about it.
You are
but
sure,
I
right?
cannot give a more detailed answer.
I'm thinking actually regarding the answer that you gave me. When I look at the sampling 58, 52, I know that is the Kratzy and Morgan, and that is usually used for simple random sampling, not purposive sampling. Yeah, but I understand it too. I think it's okay. It's okay. It's correct in this case. Okay. Dr. Faiza is not here yet. Okay, now I have another question. This is regarding instrument.
All right.
Don't worry. I just want to know, section C, when you mention unit satisfactory level using ChatGPT in TSLB 3123, what do you mean by the word unit satisfactory?
Unit
I don't understand.
all right. I think the wording by RO3 has been changed. So, as for section C, unit satisfactory levels refer to the satisfactory level according to units. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. So I want to see the differences between the units for their satisfaction level.
Okay, now I understand.
You are referring to the classes, right?
Yes.
No significant difference, right?
Yes. No
Okay,
significant difference.
that's finding. Do you have any question, Dr. Faiza? The topic, no. I commented on the sampling and also I asked about the instrument.
Okay, Haris,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, done with your research. But first, I would like to comment on the topic, your topic,
My topic.
because students' perceptions of ChatGPT usage in TLSLB 3123 among PISMP 2125. Okay. I think this topic you need to rectify a bit, because actually for your research questions, okay, research question 1, 2, 3, right? You have 3.
Yes.
That is number 1 to find out the teacher trainee's perception, right? Question 2, motivational factors,
Yes.
right? And also the question 3 is satisfactory levels. So why don't you bring all these 3 to the topic, so that when people look at your topic, they know that you're talking not only about perceptions, but you're talking about the motivational factors, and as well as the satisfactory level. in using ChatGPT. I think the SLB 3123 is
It's
too
too-
specific. Among PISMP 2125 also too specific.
Among
Maybe
teacher
you,
trainees.
of using ChatGPT in learning literature.
And learning literature.
Yes.
Alright.
Sebab kalau when people look at your topic then what is this? The SLP 3123. So maybe 3123 you can explain in your maybe background maybe. And then for that PISMP 2125 you already put it in your sample ke apa kan, your population, right, in your methodology chapter, right?
Yes.
So I think this is, you need to rectify that lah.
Alright.
Okay.
I'll consult with my supervisor.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Okay, I think Pontana already talk about others.
I have asked question. I'm happy with the question, but I have a few comments.
Alright.
Okay. All positive, Haris, because when I listen to you explaining, everything seems all in place. That is so good. And when I look at the purpose of the study, the research objectives, the wording that you use to identify, to examine, to determine, those are all at the right place. And then the way you put the hypothesis, and I am so impressed with this slide related past research. Is that it, please? Okay. This related past research. Related past research. Oi, no, is that it? Thank you for helping us today, Zati. Okay, this is so good. It really shows that you have read a lot of articles. You really go through this. And when I look at the years, 2023, 2023, 2024, 2024,
Recent.
you read all recent relevant articles. So I would say, well done. You have read them. Yeah. Wonderful.
And actually, I would like to add, and actually for related past research, this is the what we call metrics.
Yes.
You call it metrics. Yes, and then this is what the PhD students should do
You are at that level in terms of reading.
in terms of
Thanks
reading.
to my supervisor.
Okay, so keep it up, Haris. Okay, and then my question, satu
Alright.
lagi, Haris. Why do you choose TSLB? Why do you choose literature?
Okay, thank you for the question, Dr. Saida. So I choose literature in English because it involves critical thinking and also involving literary text analysis. So ChatGPT is proficient in language processing model that corresponds to the literary analysis of the text. So that's why I choose literature in education as for my focus in this study.
Okay, sorry. Does it mean that you don't have to analyze on your own? You use a chat GPT to
helps.
analyze for you?
It helps.
Off record.
That's why I want to study on it.
Right, it's easier to use chat GPT rather than you analyze on your own, right? Betul tak?
I have no comment.
Okay. Thank you, Haris.
Alright, thank you.
We appreciate the panelists for their valuable questions and feedback. And thank you for the presenter for providing thoughtful answers. We now have Nik Farah Nazira binti Yusof, who will present her research on training teachers' perception on word cards usage to improve irregular verbs memorization among primary school. Please join me in welcoming Nik Farah.
Farah, give us like a few minutes. Okay. Give us a few minutes.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I will choose our panels for today, Dr. Faizah and also Madam Suhana, the committee of our Viva presentation and also all of the audience. So I am Farah Nazira Beggy Yusof from Unit Lesson 1 and today I will be presenting on my research entitled Training Teachers' Perception on Word Cards Usage to Improve Irregular Verbs Memorization among Primary School Pupils. So before further discuss, I would also love to express my gratitude to my supervisor, Madam Shafiqah, for her guidance and also ideas throughout my journey of completing my research. Okay, so for the background of my study, as we know, English language is a crucial language to learn, especially in this modern world. So, according to the Rakshan et al. 2016, learning English requires mastering grammar structures, especially verb. So, verb is one of the essential element in English, and verb means action. So, when the action is done in the past, it is we can use past tense. So, past tense is divided into two categories, which are regular verb and also irregular verbs. So irregular verbs are verbs that do not follow any standard rule. For example, they do not add d, ed, or ied. So according to Taylor 2020, irregular verbs require individual memorization. So this is where the primary pupils start to get confused because they need to remember it because there's no specific pattern on how to memorize it. So, according to Smith 2017, he highlights that word cards can enhance memory recalling and also we can use word cards for irregular verbs memorization. Moving on to the problem statement. Here I have attached three from the past researchers. We will start with Govinda Raju, Hui and Aziz in 2022 when they say that primary school pupils often use incorrect tenses, particularly irregular verbs. So this research is actually conducted among Chinese learners. So the next research is by Harun and Ambilan in 2020. And their research find out that primary school pupils from rural schools often relate to irregular verbs errors. So here we can see that among Chinese learners, it is a problem, and also among rural school learners, it is also a problem. So we can say that, we can say that regardless of the background of the learner, irregular verb becomes an issue. This is supported also by Wogley et al. 2019 when they find out that difficulties with irregular verbs are common among primary school students. Okay, moving on. I will explain a bit about my purpose of my study. So I want to figure out training teachers' perception on how word cards can help the memorization process of irregular verbs. Next. Okay, so here are my research objectives. There are three of them. The first research objective is to identify training teachers' perception on cognitive factors that influence primary school pupils' difficulty in memorizing irregular verbs. So here I highlight on cognitive factors. The second objective is to identify training teachers' perception on the usage of word cards as a teaching material in primary ESL classroom. And the third one is to determine the relationship between word cards usage and irregular verb memorization among primary school pupils. So as we can see on the first RO, I focus on cognitive factors that influence memory. The second RO, I focus on the usage of word cards and I combine them together in the third RO. Okay, moving on to the RQ, I think it is aligned with the RO just now. Nothing. So the first one is based on cognitive factors. The second one is word cards usage, and the third one is the relationship between both of them. Next. Okay, so here is my research hypothesis. I use alternative hypothesis. So my hypothesis is there is a significant relation between word cards usage and irregular verb memorization among primary school pupils based on training teachers' perception. Next, here is the significance of the research. My research will benefit the three parties mainly. The first one is school administrators. Why? Because when they understand how the work cards can impact on memorization, they can provide the resources that are appropriate for students' learning. And the second one is in-service teachers. This research aims to bring insight to teachers to adapt their teaching methods to better support language learning and also utilize work cards to support memory. This means the memory can be not only for irregular verbs but maybe other topics that require memorization. Okay, as for training teachers, this study will bring insight for them to develop a deeper understanding of how to support irregular verb retention and also guide them to use word cards as teaching aids because they are new to the field. So they can give them insight on what the teaching aid they can use. Okay, so here are my related past researches. Of course, I have a lot of them, but here I attached 3 of them. The first one is Tira Nurfitria in 2021. From this research, actually, it is a very interesting reading because she explains the concept of irregular verb from how English is consists of many components, and then the components is divided into many things. And then, irregular verb is well explained by Tira Nurfitria there. And then the research done by her is to analyze errors made by pupils when using irregular verb, and it is a qualitative research. Okay, next is Reynolds et al. 2020, where they emphasize on how word cards can help learners. So this research really helped me to understand word cards usage deeper. And also factors affecting language acquisition was also was also mentioned in the research. And also the last one is Andreas et al. In 2019. The research brings insight for me on word cards to help irregular verb memorization specifically. Okay, next is my research design. I use quantitative and I use survey, which is a Google form. And also I analyze my data using descriptive and also inferential analysis. Okay, for population and sample, there are altogether 58 of us. So I exclude myself, that becomes 57 of the total number. The population consists of the TESOL trainee teachers, PISMP, August 2021, July 2025. And according to table from Crashy and Morgan, I took 52 for my sample, and I use purposive sampling. Okay, as for purposive sampling, I use it because I need my respondent to firstly have undergone their practicum. So of course it has to be my batch. And the second criteria for my purposive sampling is I want my respondent to have the experience of using word cards during their practicum. And the third criteria for that is they taught irregular verb during practicum. So these 52 respondents are the people that met my criteria for purposive sampling. Okay, next. Okay, so here is my instrument. I have 4 sections in my Google form. The first section is the demographic of respondents, and section A will answer on RO1, which is the cognitive factor, and then section B will emphasize on word cards usage to answer RQ2, and section C will emphasize on relationship between word cards usage and irregular verbs as in RQ3. So here are the references that where I adapted the questionnaire from. Next. Okay, here is the research procedure. First, I select a topic, and then I review the literature. Next is I set the RQ, RO, and also RH, and I choose research design. Proceeding to the next step, which is the sample design, and I start to collect the data. It took me around 1 week to finish gathering all the data that I needed, and I did some data analysis, report writing, and here I am presenting my finding. Okay, for data collection procedure, the first step that I did is I adapt questionnaire from past researches, the one that I showed you in the previous slide, And the second step is the adapted research questionnaire was submitted to my supervisor and an expert to be approved. In my case, Dr. Rosliza from JBI was the one who approved my questionnaire. And the third step is I conducted a pilot study. So in that pilot study, I took 10 respondents. According to Saunders et al., the minimum number for pilot study is 10, so that's my citation for it. And the result shows that 0.842 is the value for my number alpha, which means I can proceed with my step 4, which I created the questionnaire using Google Form and distribute to the respondent via WhatsApp. Okay, next. The data analysis procedure, I did both for descriptive and also inferential. So here are the table for interpretation table. This one is taken by Moiduni 2009 and this is by Cohen 1988 for my Pearson and for my inferential analysis. So descriptive analysis was used to answer RQ1 and 2 and inferential analysis is used to answer RQ number 3. Next. Okay, so as for data finding, the question 1 for the cognitive factors influencing memory, there are two items that score the same mean score, which are A1 and also A6, and the lowest score is scored by A3. Okay, we will discuss on that later. Next. Okay, as for data finding RQ2, I take the overall result for RQ2, section B, to find out that the mean is 4.58, which falls under very high. Next. Okay, so the third one is there any relationship between word clouds usage? I did a Pearson correlation analysis, and the value of Pearson correlation at the end is 0.775, which according to the table that I showed you just now, it showed that it has a strong positive correlation between word clouds usage and irregular verbs memorization. Okay. So here is my discussion. For RQ number 1, I emphasize on cognitive factors. So in the questionnaire, I have listed 5 cognitive factors that which the 5 of them are cited in my original thesis. Okay, so I want to know the trainee teachers, what the trainee teachers think of that cognitive factors, like whether they agree or not. Okay, so my findings showed that item A1 and A6 equally score the same mean. Okay, so the first need is my pupil find it difficult to memorize irregular verbs. So this shows that the trainee teachers agree, like they have a consensus that when they gone for their practical, they find that irregular verb memorization is a crucial issue among the pupils. Okay, so this is further supported by VIM 2020 that says irregular verb memorization is a real challenge in language learning that warrants solution. Okay, similar one is for A6. My pupil find it difficult to memorize irregular verb because irregular verb do not exist in their mother tongue. So I found out that this item has is the leading contributing factor for irregular verb memorization among primary school pupils. And this is supported by Hamzah et al. 2022. The absence of equivalent form in a learner's native language can create additional cognitive demands. So this is due to in Malay, we don't have irregular verb. In Malay, we use the lah to show that the action has done in the past. But it is not the same case in English. So that's why this problem happened. Next is item A3 that scored the lowest mean. This my pupils find it difficult to memorize irregular verb because they are too young to learn them. So this shows that trainee teachers have a diverse perspective on whether age is one of the cognitive factors leading to irregular verb memorization. So this aligns with Piaget by Piaget 1970. Language readiness can vary widely at the primary level depending on individual development stages and previous linguistic exposure. So this explains that pupils really have different ability to remember things. Okay, next for RQ number 2, I counted the overall mean for this one. So the mean score falls within the very high range, indicating that trainee teachers generally view word cards as beneficial tool for English teaching. So in this section, I have listed down the benefits for
word cards usage, and training teachers seem to agree that this is a good tool to use in primary ESL classroom. This is spotted by Lay and Reynolds 2022 that using word cards, especially paper-based ones, has been shown to significantly improve vocabulary learning. Okay, next. Q3. So here is the Pearson correlation that I have mentioned just now. The score showed 0.775, and this shows that the alternative hypothesis of my research is accepted because according to the table I showed just now, it is a strong positive correlation. This finding indicates that training teachers enjoy using word cards, and they tend to perceive word card as highly effective for helping pupils to memorize irregular verbs. And this is also supported by Rita and Shahada in 2020. They found out a positive association between the use of word cards and enhanced retention of language concept among learners. So this support my finding in my research. Next. Okay, so here are the recommendations. First, I would recommend the next researcher to use larger sample size. Okay, maybe for me, I use the only one cohort, which is our batch. But maybe for the future research, they can also use the batch who is now doing their practical for a fresher view on this. Okay, and then the second one is include respondents from other institutions. So expanding research to include other IPGs from different locations, maybe can include those IPG that are located in rural or also urban location. Okay, so the next recommendation is use different research design. Qualitative approach may lead to future research to deeper findings. So according to my past researches that I refer to, most of them use qualitative design for this so that they can see the effect, like they can do the pre and post test and then use word cards in the class, observe. So qualitative approach may bring deeper insights on this. Okay, next is the implication. The first one is school administrator. They will support the implementation of word cards because it has been proved that word cards really help pupils' memorization. So they can provide appropriate resources because some ready-made word cards require cost, especially when the school buy it from other people. And then in service teachers, this research encourages teachers to utilize word cards to teach irregular verbs because irregular verb is one of the topic to be taught in primary school. So teachers can use it. Teachers can use word cards. Okay, and then they can adjust teaching methods and address pupils' unique learning challenges. The third one is training teachers. Training teachers can recognize memory challenges pupils face with irregular verbs. So this is further discussed in my section A of the questionnaire. And then they can enhance their creativity when preparing teaching aids. So this can be seen when maybe the trainee teachers, they are still fresh and young to this education field. So maybe they want to use their creativity, maybe make the word cards into digital or something like that. Okay, next is for the conclusion for RO1. The findings suggested that trainee teachers agree that pupils have difficulties in remembering irregular verbs. This problem occurs due to many factors, particularly due to natural difference between their L1 and also L2. For RO2, training teachers overall perceive word cards as an effective tool to teach English. And for RO3, the conclusion is there is a relationship of word cards usage in enhancing primary school pupils' memorization in irregular verbs. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Farah, congratulations. And your teacher's perceptions on word cards usage to improve irregular verb memorization among primary school pupils. Okay. I find that this research is interesting. Okay, if you can extend it. Okay, you're going to school again next semester, right?
Yes.
For your second practicum.
Yes.
So I would like to suggest that you extend to action research
Oh.
for this one. So you have this for qualitative, and you have another qualitative, this is quantitative, qualitative that can support your findings for this one. So if you do your action research in school, actually you can just do it among your students, right? Do you know of how to do it? Action research?
Maybe I can learn better.
Okay, yeah, and then it will benefit the students too. Okay, using the word card. Word card is all up to you of how you want to do it, right? Okay, so please go to a purpose of study, Zati. Okay, this study aims to figure out trainee teachers' perceptions on how word card can help the memorization process of irregular words. Kat situ dah nampak dah kualitatif dia. On how word cards can help the memorization process. Can help the memorization process or can enhance, can word the word the help to. I don't think that is a very a good word or a correct word to use. You need to change that help, the word help there. Memorization process of irregular word tu saya rasa macam ada something you kena tukar. Okay, baiki there. Okay, and then another research objectives and research question. The next slides, Izati. Oh, dua slides ya. Okay, yang research question number 3 and also research objective number 3, research question number 3. So, research objective, memorization among primary school pupils. Questions you put based on trainee teachers' perceptions. So, I think it's better for you to make sure that it is aligned lah. Kat sini tak align in terms of that. Okay. So, there should be 2 users. Okay. Itu je kot nak tanya rasanya. Okay. Tapi I really hope that you can extend this your research into action research next semester. If you need help, I can help you with that. Okay. Okay, so
Okay, for me, I would like you to explain, Farah, on the process that you have done as you come up with the questionnaire. Yeah. What did you do first, second? So in the end, you have got the full questionnaire.
Okay, so firstly, of course, I choose my topic and then I did some search. I searched for the quantitative.
Look at the questionnaire slide instrument, not this research procedure. Instrument or questionnaire? Yes, this one.
Okay, this one. Okay. So for the first step, I selected some quantitative researches because there are a lot of researches has been done according to this topic, but they are mostly qualitative. So what I did was I find out some researches that I can adapt. They are not basically on irregular verbs and also word cards, but I adapt them. For example, this one is difficulties in teaching and learning grammar in context. So this one is grammar in generally grammar. So I changed the grammar questions. I changed it into irregular verbs. Same goes to the other sections. So this one is game-based learning. I changed it to word card because they are similarly tools to learn. So this one is using digital flashcard. I use it to word cards.
So do you maintain or do you retain the number of items?
No,
No.
I don't.
You just choose pick some of the items.
Do
Okay.
you have your own item?
No.
No. Just adaptation. Okay. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
We appreciate the panelists for their thoughtful questions and feedback. We would also like to thank the presenter for their detailed answers. Our final presenter for Language Lab 2 is Nur Adia Natasha binti Muhammad Samri, who will be presenting her research on training teachers' perception on the use of audio-visual aids in improving pronunciation. Please welcome Nur Adia.
gossiping.
Not about you, don't worry.
What about you?
About me, girl.
About topic.
Gossip about topics though. It's discussion actually. Don't worry.
Because we have to write comments. So we need to write. Yeah. You may proceed, Alia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. I bid to the panel, Dr. Faiza and Madam Suhaina, and also to my Bible committee and also the audiences. So my name is Nur Ali Natasha binti Muhammad Zamri. I am from Lesson 1, PISMP, June 2021, July 2025. I will be presenting my research entitled Training Teachers' Perception on the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation among young learners. And my supervisor is Mr. Wan Muhammad Suhairi bin Abdullah Saimi. Okay, first of all, we will be looking at my background of study. As we all know, pronunciation is a fundamental aspect in learning language. So, according to Pennington and Rogerson-Revell 2019, pronunciation directly influences intelligibility and listener comprehension. It is because even without a clear pronunciation, even a well-structured sentences will be hard to understand. And according to Agustin et al. 2022, most young learners struggle with pronunciation problems, especially in earlier stage. According to his study, most young learners struggle to articulate accurate words when talking in English and can hinder their communication with others. Okay, and the next one, according to Lee and Taylor, 2019, audiovisual tools are essential for enhancing fluency and accuracy in word pronunciation. So, as we know, audiovisual now emerge as a valuable resources to learn pronunciation, as we can hear and also mimic the pronunciation from the audiovisual. So, from Sunaina 2023, She said that incorporating these tools into language learning create a more enjoyable classroom experience as we use the new tools to teach pronunciation and make them feel more engaging and also enjoy in the classroom. Okay, next one is my statement of problem. Traditional method often less effective in improving students' pronunciation, according to Bo et al. 2022. It is because the conventional approaches do not fully address the complexities of pronunciation, and it will result in a gap in students' abilities to articulate words. Okay. For this, because of the poor pronunciation, it will hinder the students' communication effectiveness and language competency, according to Darwin and Monroe 2015, and also a research from Tarikh in 2019. Another issue with this teaching method is that the low engagement with multimedia will be resulted in poor retention of pronunciation skills, according to Rahimi and Sayadi 2019. This low engagement is a result from the students who struggles to communicate confidently due to persistent pronunciation issues, according to Libis 2018. Okay, and the last one is the lack of effective strategies can lead to decreased pupils' pronunciation comprehension and skills, according to Gassami and Hashemi 2020. This decrease of pupils' pronunciation and comprehension will not only limit the overall language proficiency, but also affect their academic performance and future career opportunities, according to Zhang and Ying 2020. Okay, for this research, I have two objectives. The first one is to find out training teachers' perception of the implementing audiovisual aids to improve pronunciation among young learners. And my second objective is to identify the difference between male and female training teachers' perception of the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation among young learners. Next. My research also have a question which align with the two objectives, which is the teacher training perception and also the significant difference between male and female training teachers. Okay, so I come up with one null hypothesis, whereas there is no significant difference between male and female training teachers' perception on the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation among young learners. Okay, for this study, there will be two groups that will be mainly benefited from this study, which is the first one is training teachers and also teachers in school. For training teachers, they will discover the importance of improving pronunciation skills using audiovisual aids. This study will give them a clear and also a clear understanding about how to develop accurate pronunciation using audiovisual aids. For teachers in school, this study will help to understand the effective multimedia strategies to teach pronunciation. From this study, they can understand that actually audiovisual aids can help in improving pronunciation among the young learners. So there are a few related past researches that I took from, which the first one is Kumar et al. 2022. It said that integrating audiovisual aids into English pronunciation teaching improve learners' pronunciation accuracy and fluency. And from Katival and Hashim 2020, using audiovisual materials significantly improved speaking skills among young ESL learners. Next. And from Xerox 2019, using videos and recorded materials such as audiovisual aids help improve both segmental and suprasegmental pronunciation features, which are common problem among ESL learners. And from Tempat et al. 2021, they said that authentic audiovisual materials is effective in improving pronunciation, particularly in providing exposure to native-like pronunciation through mimicking and repetition. And also the last one is from O'Sullivan et al. 2021. They said that there is no significant gender differences in audio-visual benefits in accuracy improvement when both audio and visual cues are congruent. Okay, so this is my research design. My research using a quantitative design, which I implement survey to collect data. And my population is 57 trainee teachers. The respondents from IPGKDRI TESOL trainee teachers PISMP June 2021, July 2025. Okay, for the instrument of my data collection, I adapt and modify the existing instruments from past studies which have a relation with my topic, which is from Shafira and Rosita 2022, and their research is about teachers and students' perception in using audiovisual aids to learn English pronunciation in high school. So this questionnaire comprises of 3 sections, which is section A, demographic information, section B, perception of the attractiveness and engagement of audiovisual aids, and section C, perception of the effectiveness of audiovisual aids and pronunciation learning. And this questionnaire are presented in 4-point Likert scale. Why I use 4-point Likert scale? It is because according to Hopper 2017, this 4-point Likert scale can minimizes middle bias when the respondents are unsure or indifferent with the item. And also it will help to give the stronger opinion from the respondent. So this one is my research procedure where I started by identifying the problem, evaluate the literature, create hypotheses, research design, describe population, data collection, data analysis, and also lastly with report writing. Next, the data collection procedures. It started with I adapt an appropriate questionnaire from past research, and after that, after the data was collected, I will analyze and obtain the data using Jamovi. This is the data analysis procedure. I analyzed my data using Jamovi for descriptive analysis and also inferential analysis. For descriptive analysis, I used to answer the RQ number 1, which be answered by descriptive statistic from the Jamovi. And for inferential analysis, I use independent t-test to answer the research question number 2, which is the difference between perception among female and male teacher trainees. Okay, let's move on to my data findings. So for the RQ number 1, which is what are the teacher trainees' perception on the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation among young learners. So for this finding, we will mainly focus, we will be based on this mean score interpretation table by Ragani 2021 because I use a 4-point Likert scale. So yeah, he interpreted that if the mean score is 3.01 to 4, it will indicate the mean score is high. So for this, as we can see here, the overall teacher trainees' perception is 3.53, which indicates it falls under the range of high. So this suggests that the majority of the respondents agree that the implementation of audiovisual aids can improve pronunciation among young learners. And also we can see here, the item that have the highest mean here is item C4, where the audiovisual materials increase my pupils' pronunciation comprehension with the mean of 3.63. For the discussion, as my data findings is with high mean, which is 3.53, it is aligned with research from Tempat et al. In year 2021, who studied teachers and students' views on using audiovisual materials to help with pronunciation in learning English. Both studies agree that audiovisual tools are useful for improving understanding of pronunciation, and also because they from audiovisual aids we can hear and also see how the words are articulate and also by the native speaker, and we can mimic them. Okay. For the data findings for my research question number 2, is there any significant difference between male and female trained teachers' perception on the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation among young learners? So, these findings using t-test from Jamovi, and according to Creswell in 2022, if the p-value is higher than 0.05, it is indicate that there is no statistically significant difference from the two perception. So as we can see here, this is the descriptive perception between male and female. It indicates a difference of 0.24 points between the female and male group, but the mean will not affect the t-test score. So as we can see here, the p-value score is 0.204, which indicates there is no significant difference between male and female teacher trainees' perception on the implementation of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation. So in conclusion, this research failed to reject the null hypothesis. For the discussion, as the p-value, we found the p-value higher than 0.05, so their gender does not play any role in the use of audiovisual aids in improving pronunciation. So this aligns with O'Sullivan et al. 2021 study, which also found no major gender differences in audiovisual speech perception benefits. And also, according to Kravas and Kavas in 2020, he said that according to Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, gender may use the similar cognitive strategies in learning English. So it is not surprising when the gender have no difference in perception of using audiovisual aids. Okay, for the conclusion, for RO1, the findings of the study present revealed that IPG KDRI TESOL teacher trainees perceive the use of audiovisual aids as an effective way to improve pronunciation among young learners. And for RO2, IPG KDRI TESOL teacher trainees have similar positive perception towards the use of audiovisual aids between gender. Okay, so this research has implication towards the teacher training programs, the English teachers, Ministry of Education, and also lecturers. For teacher training programs, teacher trainees can prepare themselves to incorporate the effective tools in teaching pronunciation, such as audiovisual. And for English teachers, they can learn that using audiovisual aids can help in increasing the engagement in classroom. And for Ministry of Education, will give a valuable insight that and to consider the implement audiovisual aids as a structured guideline in classroom. As for the lecturers, as they play the vital roles in shaping how teacher trainees, they should provide continuous training on how to integrate multimedia tools into teaching and learning process. Next. Okay, for my recommendation, there are 4 recommendations, which is for future research, population, classroom implementation, and also location. For future research, I would suggest to use a different research design, which is using qualitative design such as case study or in-depth interviews. It is because to get an in-depth insights from the respondents about how the audiovisual aids can help in improving pronunciation among young learners. Okay, so for the population, I would suggest to use a population with balanced respondents of male and female. As my research now, we have the respondents are not balanced from female and female as male and female, as the female is a lot more than the male. So for the classroom implementation, we as future teachers should always implement audiovisual aids in classroom and also in our lesson plan when we are going to practical method. So for the location, I would suggest to use a broader location and not only specified in IPG KDRI teacher trainees only, and maybe we can use in service teachers or maybe teacher trainees in other IPG also. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
So Alia, okay, congratulations. Okay, you have come to this stage. Okay, you look at the research question 1 and research question 2, and also the research question 1 and research question 2. Okay, yang mana satu ni? Saya pun tak tahu ni. Oh sorry, RO1, RO1, RO2. Third slide is good. Yes, this one. Okay. You look at your RO1, okay, to find out trainee teachers' perceptions of implementing audio-visual aids to improve pronunciation among young learners. Go to another slide. Okay, RQ1. What are the trainee teachers' perceptions of the implementation of audio-visual aids in improving pronunciation of pronunciation among young learners? Okay. If I may suggest that for the RO1 and RQ1, if possible, do not change. It's just, you just change that to find out and what is. Faham tak? So kalau you tengok, if you look at your wording is different. The way you arrange, but actually what you want to achieve is the same, but your wording is different. Okay? Same as RO2 and also RQ2. Cuba tengok balik for that one. So, mana lagi Okay. Look at research procedures. Yeah. Research procedures. Okay. What do you mean by evaluate literature? What do you do that? What did you do there?
Literature, I find the related researches and also the theories that I can use for supporting my research.
Okay. I don't think that I think that you need to
Use another word for evaluate the literature tu. I think,
Review?
yeah, review is better. Yeah.
It's not evaluate.
Yeah. Of course you have to read, you tengok betul tak betul, tapi that the wording that you use is
The wording.
the wording. Okay, review the literature. And another one is that instruments, data collection piece. Before that is yes, this one. Okay. 3 sections, right? Comprises of 3 sections, your instrument. Section A, section B, perceptions of the attractiveness and engagement. What do you mean by attractiveness? Actually, what did you ask us to the
In the question.
yeah, in that question? What is it that you want to find out that? Attractiveness.
For,
Because of the word attractiveness there.
for example, the questionnaire is the audiovisual aids can help to retain my students' attention. One of the question in the questionnaire.
Okay. It's macam
Okay.
My wording.
Yeah, wording again. And also section C, perception on the effectiveness of audiovisual aids. Again, like we have already mentioned siapa tadi? Daniel kan? Daniel punya ni tadi, same thing here dah. Okay, so maybe you can refer dah later. Sekejap ya. Okay, discussion RQ1. Okay, RQ1, discussion. Yang hijau tu, hijau. Yes, for this one. You tengok belakang tu Both studies agree that audio visual tools are useful for improving understanding of pronunciation. What do you mean improving understanding of pronunciation?
Because in my findings here, the item with the highest mean is C4, which is the audiovisual materials help increase my pupils' pronunciation comprehension. So it aligns with the
Okay.
finding.
The problem there is that improving understanding of pronunciation. Understanding the word understanding.
So
Useful for improving pronunciation,
comprehension.
comprehension, understanding I don't understand that.
Understanding.
Yeah, the word understanding
We understand if you say both studies agree that audio visual tools
Are useful for improving pronunciation.
Yes.
But because you put the word understanding, now we get confused.
Yes.
We don't get the meaning.
Yeah, I don't get the meaning. Actually, for understanding how to pronounce things, or understanding the apa kita panggil tu pronunciation chart ke apa ke, I don't know. You know, it's confused. So better
Wording.
yeah, wording again.
Alia.
Okay. Okay. I think
Okay, I don't have any question, Alia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, and also for the recommendation.
okay.
We appreciate the panelists for their thoughtful questions and feedback. We would also like to thank you, presenter, for their detailed and thoughtful responses. Please remain seated while the panelists finalize the marks for the best presenter. We commend all presenters for their hard work and insightful research. Our gratitude also goes to the esteemed panel of examiners for their valuable feedback. I now invite panelist 1, Dr. Hadafa Izafi Jafar, accompanied by panelist 2, Madam Hajar Suhana binti Ahmad, to come in front to present the award to the best presenter. After this, we are going to take photos.
Yes, I'm going to enjoy your food. Now I'm worried about the food. Come, Kak. Who is giving the you be in the middle? Oh. Over here? Yes.
Okay. After careful consideration, the panelists have selected the best presentation for this session. It is my pleasure to announce the award for the best presenter goes to Muhammad Harith bin Muhammad Yasir. One, two, three. One, two, three.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Congratulations, everyone.
Come, let's take a photo together.
Come.
Can we switch this off? Right?
Tak boleh.
Oh, because there will be another session.
Siapa nak ambil gambar?
Let's. Can we see?
No, boleh je.
So that they can stand behind us.
Oh, tak ya.
Ni apa ni? Ni dah nampak tak ni?